Mahiya naman kayo. These are the very exact words uttered by the President 8 months ago. Yes, Mr. President, walong buwan na mula nang tumambad sa sambayanang Pilipino at sa buong mundo ang malawakang anomalya at korupsyon sa likod ng mga flood control projects. Pagkatapos ng 8 buwan, natukoy na ba kung sino ang mga walang hiya? Since the first Blue Ribbon hearing last August 19, 2025, the public has watched closely, anticipating the outcome of our inquiries and investigations. The demand for transparency and accountability did not subside. It has only grown louder. Despite the increasing public clamor for transparency and accountability, we are stuck in a maze of indecision and complacency, waiting for a report that has long been overdue. Mr. President, as early as December of last year, the minority submitted its observations, findings, and recommendations based on the initial 6 public hearings of the Blue Ribbon Committee and labeled it a minority report, for lack of a better term. Let me be clear, it was not intended to disrespect the committee nor the Senate as a body. Fully aware of the hearings on the flood control anomalies that had not concluded, and in the absence of a committee report, the public has long been waiting. The report was not filed with the Bills and Index, but coursed through the office of the Senate President, hoping for proper disposition. The minority report was initiated out of our solemn duty to the Filipino people who were eagerly awaiting and demanding for the Senate's decisive action on the nationwide flood control scandal. Our intention was clear from the outset: to uncover the truth, hold people accountable, and propose legislative measures that will finally dismantle the deeply entrenched corruption that characterize our infrastructure projects. Ladies and gentlemen of this chamber, the people have waited long enough. It has been 7 months since the first Blue Ribbon hearing. For far too long, the public have been agitated, disgusted, and tormented by the thought that more than 1 trillion pesos have been openly looted from the National Treasury. Yet to this day, no one has been held accountable except for the small fry. In the BRC chairman's interview with Dos por Dos on DCRH as early as July 31, 2025, he alleged that there are at least 60 sitting congressmen who also acted as contractors of infrastructure projects in their own districts. In a press conference and in a press release dated August 10, 2025, posted on the Senate website, the BRC chairman disclosed that House members called him and that he had a list of 67 congressmen who were contractors. Yet he did not summon them to any BRC hearing. Why did he not name them, to be fair to the rest of the members of the House of Representatives? In the sworn statement of the Diskaya, 17 congressmen were also mentioned. Why were not they asked to appear before the committee? On the other hand, the statements of former Yusek Bernardo and his cohorts Alcantara and Hernandez, who named certain senators upon the intercession of the Department of Justice, were readily heralded as gospel truth. The chairman of the BRC has also named at least 11 contractors in his first and second privilege speeches, whom he crucified to be involved in the flood control mess. Bakit hindi na sila ipinatawag? Bakit iilan lang mula sa 11 kontratistang kanyang tinukoy ang aktual na humarap sa pagdinig? Bakit namimili? Ano ang ibig sabihin nito? Remarkably, on November 14, 2025, the BRC chairman invited former Speaker Martin Romualdez to testify in its 7th hearing. He did not appear. Then on January 22, 2026, as quoted by various media outlets, the chairman said that former Speaker Martin will be invited again. If he wants to attend, he is welcome, but he cannot be forced to come due to interparliamentary courtesy. This doctrine can be challenged in the light of Section 27, Article 2 of the 1987 Constitution, which reads, the chairman said that former Speaker Martin will be invited again. Then on January 22, 2026, as quoted by various media outlets, the chairman said that former Speaker Martin will be invited again. If he wants to attend, he is welcome, but he cannot be forced to come due to interparliamentary courtesy. This doctrine can be challenged in the light of Section 27, Article 2 of the 1987 Constitution, which reads, the state will maintain honesty and integrity in the public service and take positive and effective measures against graft and corruption. This doctrine, Mr. President, which is not even part of our rules, is not absolute and should not prevail over a clear and categorical mandate of the Constitution. The members of Congress have no immunity from investigation, subpoena, or public scrutiny. If anything, those who occupy the highest offices in the government must be the first to answer, not the last to be asked. And on January 11, 2026, in a radio interview over DZBB, the BRC chairman said that there is no solid evidence linking former Speaker Martin Romualdez to the flood control controversy. This is deeply troubling not only for what was asserted, but for what was prematurely concluded because the records of the hearings clearly reveal otherwise. First, Gutesa, who appeared and categorically linked him to the controversy. Second, Saldico, in his several video feeds, identified him and others as the principal actor of this most despicable scandal. Third, at least 2 out of the 17 congressmen in Discaya's list reportedly referred to Martin Romualdez. Sa mga unang pagdinig ng Blue Ribbon Committee sa ilalim ng pamumuno ng kasalukuyang chairperson, iminungkahi ko po, Ginoong Pangulo, na anyayahan din si dating Governor Luis Chavez Singson na nagpahayag din ng kahandaan at kagustuhan na dumalo upang tumistigo sa mga flood control projects sa Ilocos. Wala rin pong nangyari, Ginoong Pangulo.